Now, Governor Gov Ambode has inaugurated 3 newly acquired executive boards by the state government with a pledge to fully explore the tourism and economic potentials of the waterways in the state for the overall benefit of the people. Speaking at the unveiling of the boat held at Cavating Jetty in Lagos, the governor said the state government was committed to the implementation of the integrated transport management system designed to scale up water, rail, and land transportation. He noted that the grand plan is to divert at least 2 million passengers on the waterways daily, thereby reducing traffic on the road.
As we're doing on the road, we have decided that we will face the waterways. We have just ordered the procurement of 7 ferries. We have also invited people from the private sector to take over our terminals and also be able to procure their own boats and ferries to be able to, eventually abolish all this canoe boats that at the end of the first quarter of 2018. And we believe strongly also that our own boats by government and the ones from the private sector will start to bed the waterways of Lagos, and we'll be able to use that to complement what it is that we have on our roads, and then we'll be able to use it to complement the future of what we are trying to plan for the rail system.
In his opening remark, the Commissioner for Waterfront Infrastructure Development, Adebowale Akinsanya, said about 30 commercial routes on the state waterways have been identified for dredging and channelization, while 10 jetties were being constructed. Also speaking on safety plans for the waterways, General Manager of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Tiamiyu Adesina, said the jet skis would be deployed across the state to aid rescue operation in case of emergency. The State Managing Director, Waterways Authority, LASWA, Damilola Emmanuel, said the commissioning was the beginning of sustainable development for the waterways.
So our intent is to maintain between 4 to 6 meter depth. So any ferry or boat up to 1,000 capacity will be able to ply that route.
It's a jet ski. This jet ski will have 2 of them. Each has a capacity to carry 2 divers. And the idea behind this is that when an incident occurs on the waterways, there is a jet ski that will move divers fast. These are fast-moving craft that will move divers fast to the incident scene while the rescue boats are coming behind.
Well, we've been, as you know, as a state, we've been committed to safety. And in terms of safety, one of the things we realized as well is that safety has different stakeholders. You have the passengers, you have the actual boat captains and the deckhands themselves. For the boat captains and deckhands, we're going to look into, obviously, making sure that they are well licensed and well trained, and making sure that as well their health, because a lot of them, most of the time, if you realize their health, they always have a lot of health issues.
Well, moving on now, a lawmaker says the problem of corruption is deep-rooted in the country, that it will be unrealistic to expect that President Muhammadu Buhari will rid it of the problem within the first tenure in office. Senator Benjamin Uwajumogo, representing Imo North Senatorial District, in a chat with journalists, says the problem of corruption will require much work to fight it to the barest minimum.
It's not something that you can, any administration can within one tenure be able to defeat. It has become quite endemic in Nigeria, and it's something that it will take quite a while. It will take orientation. It will take a huge fight, against corruption for you to be able to defeat corruption.
Senator Uwajumogo, a member of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, says President Muhammadu Buhari has, however, shown significant levels of commitment in the anti-graft effort in the country despite all the odds.
Everybody in this country at least knows and believes that we have a leader, we have a president whose integrity is impeccable. We have a leader that is not corrupt, and leadership by example is what we are seeing.
At the conclusion of the 2017 Leadership Conference held in Lagos, says for Nigeria to be at par with other developed countries, leadership skills must be included in the education system. He said leadership is a skill, hence it can be taught and learned.
Where are our leadership schools? Who taught our leaders to lead? Where is it in our curriculum, in our educational system? So we teach leadership because we found out leadership is a skill. It can be learned. All over the world now, They offer degree programs in leadership, bachelor's, master's degree, doctorate degree in leadership. It can be learned.
Pastor Adeyemi says the bane of Nigeria's development stems from a practice where the bulk of the nation's budget is used to service the ruling elite at the expense of the masses.
If you hear the budget is 3 trillion naira, at least 2 trillion of it will go into the bank accounts or pockets of the ruling class. Very little gets to Nigerians. That's why the roads are not built. It's not that we've not made money. 2, they've also limited the power of the citizens to make money because gratefully they had access to oil money. The federal government should spend tax money. The tax is a fraction of the income of the citizen. When that is the structure, as long as citizens are broke, government will be broke. So government will always be working for citizens to prosper so that government can have money to spend. But in Nigeria, the ruling class didn't need citizens' money. If we said we were going on strike, they just chilled. As long as the oil rigs were pumping oil, money was flowing to the ruling class. That's why Nigeria has not changed. So we've had a few countries where they don't have democracy, but they have benevolent rulers.
He, however, expresses optimism in a Nigeria that works, while calling on all stakeholders to groom and inculcate the right skills in the next generation of leaders. Moving on, straight now to Ekiti State, where farmers in that state want the federal government to complete its storage facilities, which is still under construction along the Ado-Ekiti-Kare Road in the state. This is one out of their requests tabled before the state governor, Ayodele Fayose, during a meeting held at the Government House Pavilion in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital. Among issues tabled before the governor include the abandonment of the federal government silos under construction in Ado-Ekiti, the continued menace of herdsmen, lack of loans for agricultural production, and empowering youth in agriculture.